shoots it. Kuzma with a pump fake and a spin to the rim, flips it up and fills it up.
Wow, he's having a game.
Oh, grabbed by Okoro, but Okoro twisted strangely. It fell hard. Off it goes to Beal for three. Oh, goodness, he hits it in Okoro.
Beal inside for Gafford. Kuzma from the corner. Down with 0.6 of a second left.
My goodness.
Ready to trigger. Once Beal finds Beal. Beal toward the bucket, off to Kuzma for three. You're into one shot.
Greetings and salutations. Welcome to Ref the District, where we are a sports channel centered on DC sports. And today's topic is going to be the Washington Wizards mid-season's recap. I'm Nathan Perry. Joining me, as always, my co-hosts. We got Trevor and Stoner with me. Guys, it has been an up and down season. The Wizards started off really hot. We thought we all underestimated them. Then they came back down to earth. Right now, they are above 500. How do you think the Wizards season is going so far?
Expected. I think, honestly, expected. Like you said in the beginning of the season, we were like, oh, this might be a different Wizards team. And then once the season got, in more control underway and set in, the Wizards are who we expect them to be, above 500, like what, one or two games above 500 or something like that. They got all these new pieces. They got to gel still. It's going to take more than just half a season, but it has starting to come along a little bit as the season goes on. So I think they're right where we thought they were going to be.
Here, this might be the first in Ref the District history. I agree with exactly everything Trevor just said. That might be the first time that's ever happened.
Mark it down on your calendars, folks. Mark it down on your calendars. It's happening. It is happening.
He nailed it. So yeah, that's exactly right. And just a couple of added on points there. The biggest thing I think has been you've got all these new pieces. And they're all trying to figure it out, but they haven't been able to have everybody together because of injuries, because of COVID protocols, and all of that. And they still haven't even got to that point.
Right.
So hopefully they're going to figure it all out and be able to put it all together and have a successful season. Because right now they are in where we thought they were, like exactly
just the
what
play
Trev said, right?
Yeah,
which is
right
somewhere
there
in
at
the
the play-in,
right around 500, maybe 45 wins, somewhere around there this year. But they're a little bit more fun to watch, that's for sure, because they are better offensively than they have been in a while.
Which I don't know that I necessarily agree with that, because as far as better offensively, I would say the ball movement's there because they're not running that ISO that had become, the previous regime's norm. But the one thing that has been their struggles this year has been their offensive ability. They're just not really consistent on the offensive side of the ball. When they put it together, you can see you're right. That's a fun team and they're a good team. And that's where their wins are coming from, is when they're able to actually score points. But when the rails fall off, which seems to be quite often, at least half the time, then that's when this team just doesn't seem to really get there. Is there really something that you can pinpoint those offensive deficiencies on?
Well, they're definitely struggling from three. That seems to be the biggest thing. But they tried to address that in the offseason by drafting Kispert. That was a big deal, right? And bringing other guys in. Kuzma can shoot. KCP can shoot. So bringing in shooters to help that. It hasn't panned out fully, but these guys Kispert's really improving in his threes. Bertans is getting a little healthier, and so he's improving in his percentage. I think they're improving a little bit at a time from three, but that's their biggest bugaboo.
I'm going to go with that too and say I think they've got a lot of players that play the same positions on the team more than what you really want. I think we have a lot of the 2, 3, 4 spot guys that can play all three positions, and we don't really have that many true 4 or 5s, which are going to be needed if we're going to make the postseason and make some noise in the postseason, or finish strong in the second half of the season. Like, because Kuzma, he can play 2, 3, 4. Rui can play the 3 or 4. Gaffer can play the stretch 3 and a 4. KCP could play 2 or 3. All these different people are kind of the same position. So I think you got to separate a little bit.
And I think they've been also struggling with their center position.
Yeah.
Especially when Harrell was out for protocols and you basically had Gafford, and then you either went small or you brought in Anthony Gill. And God bless Anthony Gill. He's going to be a head coach in this league one day.
He is.
He should not be playing minutes in the NBA right now.
Especially not a 5.
No meaningful minutes.
2 or 3. He's never been a big man ever. So,
he's a great team guy. But
Trev, you brought up Rui. He's recently returned to this team. What's the impact going to be going forward with Rui back in the fold?
Depends on how they play him and whose minutes he takes, and how long it takes for them to ease him back into playing heavy minutes, which are needed from a guy like him. So obviously it should be a positive impact, but like I said, depends on how long it takes for them to ramp him up, because he's been out for 2 months. And I know it's been like it's been like a whole like mental health thing issue, whatever, but like it's taken that long just to get him this point, and we're at halfway through the season.
Yeah.
So I think it'll impact a little bit, but I don't see him making a huge impact like he would have if he started at the beginning of the season with the team from the get-go.
Yeah. And certainly the first couple of games that he's been there, he hasn't looked great. I mean, he's been out there and he's not shooting well. I mean, you expect that when you haven't played for a few months, but he hasn't looked like the guy he was at the end of last year, and even in the Olympics when he was dominating. But they don't necessarily run a lot of plays for him either. So how can you dominate if you don't have plays run for you? And
it's kind of, I know I don't want to keep harping on mental health because whatever, but like injury wise, health, like physically wise, if he was hurt, it's taken him. It seems like he wasn't out that long, so he should be able to pick up speed a little bit, because Klay Thompson, 2 years gone, like major injuries, ACL, Achilles, and he's coming back dunking on 3 people. Like, it's just a different mindset. It feels like Rui is maybe not fully there, ready, and like fully engaged and thinking. Maybe he's lost confidence. Maybe he's this and that. So it's going to take a minute. Seems like. It's just interesting. Keep an eye.
They've definitely been really easing him in. It seemed like possibly he could have been playing sometime in December. They've been really slow rolling it. He's been back here for a couple games before this mid-season mark. And you're right. He's not the same player. They have been calling plays, but I don't think you can call plays for a guy who's only in the game for 1 quarter's worth of play. So I think that's a little bit difficult to do. One guy you can call plays for, though, is a guy who's been absolutely balling out this year. Had a bit of a coming out party this season in Wizards uniform, which we're excited to see, and that's Kuzma. Yeah. What do you guys make of him really becoming a star out here on the East Coast? He was well known in a Lakers uniform. Yes. But now he's really coming in being well known, not for just being a Laker, but for actually being a good basketball player.
You can call me crazy, but he is taking over Bradley Beal's spotlight, bro, and face of the franchise so far. I think.
Hold on now. Not
so far this season. No,
not even
this season. I'm gonna say that. Say that because for one, and we'll get to this later. They've played really good ball without Bradley Beal. Just saying. 2, we were looking for Beal to do what Kuzma's doing. Beal's been here for years, and we've been looking for that clutch. I mean, he's clutch, but we've been looking for that, just someone to take over the game, and we're seeing that from Kuzma right now. So that's what I mean, like he's taking the spotlight from Beal, because he's doing what we've been asking Beal to do for a long time, and Beal does it not as consistently as Kuzma is showing he can do it. You don't get rid of Kuzma. Keep him. Now you got to keep Kuzma.
I agree. I agree with that sentiment, Trev. But it seems like Stoner's about to disagree with you on a couple of other points.
The honeymoon's over, Trev. We were all in lockstep for the whole time.
Damn, we didn't even get to dance at the reception.
No. We're not. We can't even. Nope, not even. Honeymoon's finished. No, I don't have any problems with what you said about Kuzma himself. Now, becoming the face of the franchise, You don't do that from the guy who has been the face of the franchise for 5 years. Well, maybe not that long, about 3 or 4 years, just because you come in and play well. Bradley's still outplaying him. Now, Kuzma has been clutch in the fourth quarter, for sure. He's hit some major shots for this team. But Bradley Beal will always be the face of the franchise until he leaves.
Right.
So don't go against my guy Beal.
Hey, I'm just saying.
But Kuzma has been great. Kuzma's been amazing. He had yesterday, he was 1 assist away from a triple-double. And I don't know if you saw at the end of the game, where it was about 30 seconds left, and they had the ball, and they were up 6. And he brings it down, and he passes to Kispert. He knew full well that he was 1 assist away, and then Kispert passed it to KCP, who was more open, and KCP took the shot. And Kuzma had himself a little episode out there on the court because he was mad at Kispert for not trying to get him his triple-double. And the Orlando came down the other side because KCP missed it. They came down the other side. Kuzma was still hanging back, complaining to Kispert. And they had a wide open 3 where they could have cut the lead down to 3 with, about 20 seconds left, but they missed because Orlando's terrible and they can't shoot. But still,
thankfully,
but Kuzma has been great. Kuzma has been great, no doubt. Not the face of the franchise, but he's been a huge revelation.
Yeah, not quite the player that Beal is, but Beal really hasn't been playing as well as Washington has been used to. As I try to get my camera to focus on me again,
That was cool.
The thing that Trev alluded to there is that Washington is 6-2 without Beal playing. That's not normally the case when a superstar goes down. The team isn't normally
franchise goes down.
Isn't normally playing better without. There was a time I believe they started off 4-0. So they've been 2-2 over the last 4 games, but they started off 4-0 without Beal. What do you make of that? What do you make of the fact that Beal's not been playing quite the way that we're used to in seasons past?
I don't think he wants to be in Washington anymore.
Oh, it's a terrible take. I'm not having that. I'm not having that here, Trev.
I think there's some behind the scenes stuff that we don't know about, and that's why he's playing the way he is, because he does not want to be in Washington that much anymore. I mean, that's the only thing I can think of.
I'm waiting for the psych, or I'm waiting for the just kidding.
Nah, dog.
No, that's not coming.
No.
Look at his last 10 games that he's played.
And they ain't winning. It doesn't matter. He wants to win,
Won
bro.
the last 3 or 4.
Yeah, but he wants to. Bradley Beal deserves to be on a winning team. He's been here for so long. We've had different coaches. He's brought in different playmakers. Nothing works. So maybe the solution is to get rid of Beal, and you might have better success because all the talent you bring in here can't play with Beal. Maybe can't work with Beal. Maybe that's what it is. He doesn't want to. That's just my opinion, Stone. You don't have to agree because I'm already I'm also, by the way, I cheat on you with Nathan during the honeymoon, so there was no honeymoon. So take that.
That didn't last long at all.
No, it was over for you and with
finished.
me. Yeah, we were been finished. No, but serious though. I mean, it could be overblowing at 6-2 without Beal, but there's been times where contract talks come up all the time. He hasn't signed yet. Why not? If he likes the city enough, why hasn't he signed yet? You bring in Russell Westbrook, it doesn't work. You bring in Dinwiddie, and this and that.
You bring in a legit coach.
Yeah, legit coach.
Well, it's not working. And they're 22-20. They're not first in the East. They're better than they've been in years.
Yeah, but it's still mediocre, and Bradley Beal does not want to be mediocre anymore, so he wants to get out of there.
No, that's you projecting onto him.
Yeah,
right.
That part I think is fair. I happen to think Trev is inching towards something that is true, which is I don't think Bradley Beal is going to stay in Washington. Now, whether or not he wants to be here is another matter. I'm not going to project on whether or not he wants to be here. I just don't think that he is going to be here. And I think that's more along the lines of Washington needs to look at what they can do to build the team for the future and whether or not Beal is going to be a part of that future. But that, my friends, is a podcast for a future, is a video for the future. We're just doing a mid-season recap here. So let's circle it back to that point. And Stoner.
This is so hard.
Stoner, let's talk
about the contract. Because he
you
hasn't signed
you
a
get
contract.
two sentences.
Okay. He hasn't signed a contract yet. That's a comma. It's not a full sentence yet.
Okay, you just wasted one there.
Because he can sign for way more money after the season. Done.
Okay, period. Okay,
all right,
there we go.
Fair enough.
We'll put a pin in it. Like I said, that's a whole nother video.
But so
subscribe to our
honestly,
channel. Subscribe to our channel. Subscribe to our channel. You'll see a video coming up eventually about Bradley Beal signing or not signing with Washington. We're probably going to have a full 30 minutes on that. Stoner.
Yep.
Washington is 6-2 without Bradley Beal. Bradley Beal has not been playing the way that we're used to. What do you make of it?
Well, first of all, Bradley Beal has not been playing the way that we're used to because they have a lot more players on this team that can take load off of him. Okay, so they can lean on Spencer Dinwiddie. They can lean on Kuzma and KCP and Harrell and all these other guys. So he doesn't have to shoulder that scoring load. But he is playing very well, especially like in the last 10 games. He is up to scoring, his shooting percentage, all of that stuff. Maybe he just needed to get in a groove, figure out how to play with these guys. The 6-2, that's an anomaly. It's a statistical anomaly. That's all it is. It's like when John Wall was playing a few years ago and they weren't doing so well, and then he got hurt and they went on this little run. They went like 13-4 or something like that. The team was not better without John Wall.
How do you know?
If it's only an anomaly when the trend doesn't go Stoner's way, it's a real trend. It's a trend when it goes Stoner's way. It's an anomaly when it doesn't go his way. That's how it works.
You guys understand.
That's how
it's taken you this long, and you finally understand how.
I knew.
No, I get it now.
Yeah, that's right. There you go.
Interesting.
So that is that. We'll can that talk for now. It is going to be interesting to see how that does play out the rest of the season. The chemistry thing is something that they do have to build on. I do think that they're going to see some shakeup at the trade deadline, which is coming up February 10th. And as we get closer, we'll have another video out about that. One of those things that makes me think that is there was a little dust up between two of the newer players that they got on the roster, and that's KCP and Trez. Had a little, little dust up in the hall. I don't really think that's that big of a deal, but I think that it is something worth talking about. Stoner, do you think that is going to amount to anything further? It didn't spill out onto the court as far as I've seen, but you did see, you mentioned the Kuzma kind of being a little miffed at the players. You had Bertans getting into it with Denny earlier this season as well. Mm-hmm. Is there something more there with the teammates?
Nah. That's typical on every team every year. That's a very normal. The reason it wasn't blown up any bigger is because it wasn't on camera and it wasn't there for the announcers to pick apart. When we compare it to like the Washington football team, when you had Payne and Allen was on the sideline and the cameras caught it and the announcers could just sit there and go on and on and on about it in a blowout loss. Well, this one wasn't caught on camera. Somebody leaked it out wherever. And it wasn't even that big of a deal. And both of the guys said, not that big of a deal, and it happens. And I totally believe that. If it was on camera, it might have been a bigger deal. Not that big of a deal.
Trav, you making anything out of it?
Yeah, I am, because I'm that guy. It kind of shows that the team doesn't have that good chemistry right now, off the court and on the court. They really don't. You said Denny and Davis got into it. They're teammates for a while. KCP and Harrell were in LA together. They've been teammates before they came here. Kuzma is upset over individual stats rather than to get the win. That's showing me that
ironically something people blamed Westbrook for.
Yeah, it's something that Wes Unseld needs to get under control. I mean, like you said, it doesn't look bad because we didn't see it on camera, but the reporter's still out there, and that's 3 instances now that have shown that we aren't getting along as a team, as a family, as a brotherhood that we should be if we want to go make this thing happen. So that's what I'm getting out of that. It's not a big deal, but it is. Yeah. It is at the same time. Not as big of a deal like, oh, God, trade one of them, suspend them for it. No, but it's something to keep an eye on and pay attention on. Don't just shut it away because it's three instances. If it's just that one and not the Kuzma, not the Denny Davis, whatever. But it's been 3 under this new coaching staff and new players. So
that's fair. I think that's fair. I don't know what's going on. We're back in the honeymoon.
You trying to talk to me again, Stoner?
Yeah, I want to talk to you. Come on over. Let's go.
Well, they need to see whether or not they're going to make up. I'm going to bring up our next topic and the last main topic I have for the team here, which is the emergence of Denny as a defensive stalwart. I don't want to necessarily go to whether or not he's kind of one of the defensive all pros at the end of the season, but he has been really good. In fact, in the beginning, the first half of the first half, he was looking like he was going to be one of those first team NBA, defense NBA players. Now he's just kind of more so one of the better defenders in the league. Where do you guys rank him, and what do you guys think about his emergence as a defensive star?
Starting to take this one first.
I think the biggest thing to understand about that is that he is being assigned to the best scorer on the other team, and it doesn't matter what position they play. He was guarding Terrence Ross yesterday, a 6'5", leap out of the gym, shoot from anywhere in the court player yesterday. He's guarding big men. He's guarding forwards. He's guarding point guards at times. His assignment is take the best player on the other team and shut him down. Now, he doesn't always completely shut them down, but he does a good enough job on them to slow them down. And that's pretty amazing from a second-year player. I don't even know how old he is. Maybe 21?
Yeah, he's pretty young. 21. I think he's 22,
maybe
but
22,
I will double check.
And this is his second year in the NBA. So that's really impressive what he's doing. And again, when you have somebody like that,
Connor's right, 21.
You move him, you take care of that, you got that guy, and let us figure out how to guard the other guys. Now, their defense is not great overall as a team, but that certainly helps. And I, for one, was completely wrong about Denny. I thought he was going to be a bust. And now he's not necessarily, some great scorer or anything like that. He's working on all that. But defensively, he's been a revelation.
You just wish the rest of the team could do what he's doing and play some defense, which is why we brought Wes Unseld in here in the first place, junior. So, I mean, props to Denny. I don't know what else to say. I mean, he's doing what he's supposed to do, and that's good that a player like him can lock up, like you said, some of the defenders and let the rest of the team figure it out. You don't have to put your star player on their star player. You can put a Tony Allen guards all the greats. Right. Who else? Right. I can't think of other names, but just great guys who are known for great defenders on number one guys, other teams. You need somebody like that on every single team you have in the NBA. You need someone like that, and it's good that the Wizards have one, and it's not a superstar where they have to be dependent on both ends of the court. So
yeah, he can really focus on that defensive side of the ball. He isn't required to be a scorer. One of the things that was one of the reasons why they drafted him, though, was his playmaking ability. Not necessarily the scoring, but the playmaking. And I'm really looking to see that kind of come out. And that was actually one of the reasons why he got into the argument with Davis Bertans was they didn't really see that play breaking down the same way. He as a playmaker went to do a playmaker play, whereas Davis Bertans, a vet who is more of a stand and shoot scorer, was like, no, it should have been done this way. So very interesting. I'm happy to see the young man thrive. Really, this team is exciting. Currently 22-20 as the day of recording, and pretty exciting. And as I think I understood, Stoner, at the beginning before, that you might have a little treat for us.
Yeah, buddy.
I like candy.
I got a little lightning round for you.
Oh,
I've got the buzzard ready.
Nathan, hit the music. Hit the music, dog.
All right, I get the music too. That's right. I got the music. Got the music going.
Yep, I hear it. All right. Your instant reaction I want to hear what you have to say. Who was the first half MVP?
Kyle Kuzma.
Kuzma, yeah. I don't think I can pick anyone else.
Yeah.
Who's the most surprising player?
Denny.
Denny. I'll go with Denny. Too.
Kispert's close, though.
I knew he had it.
All right. Who's been the biggest disappointment?
Davis Bertans, and that's really saying something because I don't have high standards for him.
Spencer Dinwiddie, because he's not fully healthy, and needs to stop lying about it.
Although
That's a good one.
Okay, no, I'm not supposed to.
Yeah,
He did have
lightning round.
22 points last night. I know, but still.
Last 3 games, he's been really, really good.
But
All right.
he's been kind of overall not what we really wanted him to be. But go ahead.
Yeah, not yet.
Lightning round. Keep going.
It's a big
Sign blank to a long-term contract. Right now.
Ooh, Kyle Kuzma.
I'm gonna buzz myself. I don't know that. Yeah, gonna buzz myself. I don't have an answer.
And that's bad.
What?
Just real
It is
quick,
bad that I don't
that's
have an
bad.
answer.
Not you, but like if us as fans can't decide who you should sign long term on the Wizards, that's really
Yeah.
bad. That means
That means you
nobody on
don't
the team
have
deserves it.
a
Yeah,
contract.
you don't have it. Yeah.
Will you make it to a game this year?
No.
Wow, that was neat.
DC
Tommy-
standards and everything
yeah.
going on with protocols and everything. No, it's not gonna.
I've been to Wizards games. They're boring. Go ahead.
Tommy Shepperd's grade so far since he's been here.
B-.
C.
Wow, that's tough.
Remember when at the beginning of the year we talked to him about being the
No, y'all did. No, y'all talked
we-
about executive of the year. I
That's
wasn't
fair.
on that
That's
train.
fair.
That's
Crab
why
called
it's
us
C.
out. He was like, "Well, hold on, let's let the season play out."
He had Westbrook and it didn't work. So like whatever. Go ahead.
Well, okay. Yeah, I can't say.
Lightning round.
I
This
don't
is
like
the
doing lightning
slowest
rounds.
lightning
I
round
just-
ever. I
I
know.
would just like to say I don't.
Next
like
time,
This
next
is a
time, let
thunder
me
round.
come up with the list.
Thunder round.
Okay.
Thunder round.
Does this team win a playoff series?
No.
No.
All right. Trade blank today.
Bradley Beal.
Wow.
Let's
Wow.
go, Nathan.
I don't
Let's
like either one
go.
of you anymore.
Let's
Who
go.
needs more
That's
minutes?
that's the one that you're going to get the assets.
Who needs more minutes?
Yeah,
Kispert.
Who needs?
Somebody they haven't gotten on the team yet via trade. Just saying.
Who dates your daughter?
Off of that team?
Yeah, of course. Well, no, in general. No, of course, off the team. Who dates your daughter?
I'm glad I don't have a daughter.
Any-
Whatever the water boy's name and who comes out or the towel guy, whoever comes out and does the towel wipers.
Wes
Who
Unseld Jr. He seems like a stand-up gentleman.
Who
Yeah.
would you have the most fun with at Disney World?
Trez, easily.
Yeah, Trez.
Trez.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, he would be fun. He
Who
would
do you
be a
want in
lot
your
of-
foxhole?
For what?
Your foxhole. If you're at war, who do you want right next to you at war? Man, you both get.
Nobody in that organization.
I mean,
Who would you? Oh man, my stupid thing. Who would you go to visit first? All right.
Uh-huh.
Denny in Israel, Rui in Japan, Davis in Latvia, or Raul Neto in Brazil.
Ooh.
Neto and
gonna-
Brazil haven't been there before. I've hit
I'm going
every
Latvia.
other location up.
I've never been to any places of those, but Latvia sounds cool.
All right, there you go. There's the lightning round. Bing,
Can,
bing,
I leave,
bing.
can I leave Davis here and just go to Latvia by myself?
You may.
Okay.
You may do that.
Well, that sounds like a fun thing. I appreciated the attempt there at the lightning round from Stoner.
Oh, I have a
It might
question.
not have quite been lightning, but it was fun.
thunder.
I like
Chapter
some of those additional questions there.
I got
Trev's
one.
got his hand raised, so let's
We're
hear
at the
this.
we're at the halfway mark, and
Yeah.
I'm not including trades. Same roster. Let's just say trades don't exist in the NBA. Same roster right now. Do we make the playoffs?
The play-ins,
depends
yeah.
on what you. Yeah, the play-ins for sure.
Yeah, think so.
Which-
Your top 10,
for the-
yes.
Yeah, for the record, by the way, I do think they can win the play-in series, but as far as an
Oh,
actual
yeah,
playoff
we'll
series, which is where I think they will end up. I will say that. I do think they end up in an actual playoff spot, but I don't think they win a best of 7, which is how I answered that question.
What's the play in again? Is it 2 games? Best out of 3? Is it?
No, 9 and 10 play.
Oh, it's just
9 and 10.
elimination.
Yeah.
That's right.
7 and 8 play.
Okay.
And those 2 winners play each other.
Uh-huh.
The loser of the 7 and 8 game plays the winner of the 9-10 game. The winner of the 7-8 game automatically gets the 7th spot.
Okay.
And then the next 2 that play, the winner gets the 8th spot, and then you start your playoffs.
Where are the Wizards right now?
Wizards are currently sitting at the 9th spot.
Ooh.
They need to get to the 6th spot, which they're currently 2 games behind Cleveland for. So
okay.
I think that they can get there by season's end.
That's good.
And last year,
but I don't think they win a 7-game series. Stoner, last year I don't remember, and your internet cut out on us there.
Bro, you froze for a second.
Well, I was just gonna say, remember last year they played down the stretch and won a bunch of games, got to the 8th spot, which allowed them to lose the first game and then win the second game and then take the 8th spot. So that was you need to get at least to the 8th spot.
Yep, it is important to get to that 8th spot there. It is important to subscribe to our channel. That is a big one. Let us so that way you can get all this content that we put out, know when it's coming out. And of course, until next time, be a fan.